I think it's fair to say, dudes, I'm a big fan of SOG, that is SOG knives. Proven in many video reviews at this point here in early 2010. Let's see, I've done the SOG Flash 1, the Flash 2, the Trident, the SOG Aegis. Great, super fast, wicked light tactical blade. Lots of their fixed blades, the Government Agent, the GovTac, the Tech Bowie, the SOG Creed, and the Seal Pup Elite. All very favorably reviewed by me, Nutnfancy. Hello world, blade time continuing in the project. Let's consider another SOG offering. Previously very expensive as of early 2010. If you move fast, you're going to get it for a great deal. The knife is, drum roll, the SOG Team Leader in DuraTech 20CV steel. And around this time frame, you will be able to score this knife for about $120. What? That's a good deal for the steel you're going to get in this knife. Yes, I was aware of the Team Leader going way back. And also, yes, it has been discontinued in the SOG, that is SOG lineup. It's a discontinued blade. It's on closeout at the place I'm going to show you right now. In annotation, that's where you're going to get it. They're probably going to sell out. I recommend highly you move on it quickly. The knife is totally worth it. It's a great deal. I think you'll agree. As I make my case, going down the TMP talking points, jumping around, skipping stuff, probably getting some stuff wrong. You know, I do my best. Let's start off POU. This is a tactical blade in my book, first and foremost. Specifically, I will say it's a great LBE, that is load-bearing equipment option for you soldiers. I get lots of communications from TMPers who are serving in the military. Lots. Marines, Air Force, Army, Coast Guard types. We talk about blades. As much as my time will allow, I email my responses. I recommend they watch certain videos which answer their questions in great detail, as you guys know. I think this would be a good option for a soldier. An overall knife that you could use in multi-purpose fashion. Maybe food preparation. Yes, defensively in a tactical scenario. And that's what I mean when I say tactical blade. You guys know that after hundreds of knife reviews, when I say tactical, this could be a fighting knife, close quarter variety. Great knife, but that's not all it's limited to. Civilians could use it too in a variety of ways. It might be a great option as a camp knife, and maybe as a civilian sheepdog, just another defensive blade, but not as an LBE knife specifically. Camp knife function well. Survival knife, maybe. I think the tip is very delicate. Well, maybe not delicate, but it comes to a very, let me use the word delicate tip. And I like a thicker tip on my survival knives. One that I can just hammer through a log. I don't think the Team Leader is it, dudes. I gotta just tell you that. For food preparation, it would serve nicely. That's a POU as I see it. Again, your mileage may vary. The weight on this knife is actually quite reasonable. 6.8 ounces for the blade itself. To me, and for what you're getting, this size of knife, that's a reasonable carry weight. Especially considering it is basically a relatively thick plank of 20 CV steel. Obviously full tang. Together with the leather sheath, 9.4 ounces. That puts it in good competition with a lot of other knives that I'm going to talk maybe down the talking points here. Now, as an LBE knife, the first question, and we're going to talk about the sheath right down here. I'm going to jump ahead right now because it drives right to the heart of POU. If it's an LBE knife, we have to ask ourselves, how are we going to carry that on our tactical vest? What's the best way to do it? This knife will not readily adapt itself to that use. What I recommend is you get, because the same place I recommend is carrying these now. Where'd it go? Here you go. These BlackWater on closeout, MOLLE compatible modular knife sheaths. Okay, $10. Let me show you one up close. Okay, that's what it is. I haven't used them yet extensively, but all indications look like they're going to serve just fine. What it is it's Velcro, and I think I mentioned this in another review. I'm just going to cover it now so I don't have to make a separate video. Has Velcro hook closures inside. You'll take your sheath, you'll apply the loop Velcro on this side, let it set, slip your knife in. It will attach with the Velcro like that, and now you have a MOLLE compatible sheath for just $10. These are going to go bye-bye, guys. So if you like them, get them now, TMPers. For $10, it's a no-brainer. And now you can carry your knife upside down, attach it to your LBE. Does it add a little bit of weight? Yep, about 3 ounces. So you'll have to decide if that's worth it. I know, everyone's just 3 ounces, that's nothing. Remember what I always say, it all adds up, dudes. I'm just saying. Great addition though, and it does indeed turn this knife easily into a tactical blade. The balance on this, absolutely superb on the Team Leader. I'm very happy with it. It balances almost right in the center for me. Your mileage may vary. The feel is a lot better than you would expect. When I look at this knife visually, perhaps it doesn't totally crank my wheel. You know, it's just like, yeah, that's okay. You know, it's got kind of that drop point leaf blade look. I was like, yeah, that's cool. When you hold the Team Leader, I think it speaks volumes, because then you can understand the balance, how lightweight it is, how it feels in hand, how it locks in. It's actually a very superb knife design. Sorry to see it go, really, because this is a winning knife design in that POU that I discussed. Feel is outstanding. Getting onto the blade. Let's talk about that steel, because it's something different. I don't have a lot of experience in it. This is a loaned knife, so I can't go out and thump on it. But the DuraTech 20CV, I went and did some research on it for you guys. In fact, I went to Latrobe Specialty Steel Company. They're responsible for it. They might be making it for, or someone might make it from them. I don't know. But you can see here, I won't read it verbatim. There are a couple things I'm going to show you here in a second, though. From all indications, the 20CV steel is remarkable. It's a powder metallurgy steel. Has lots of hard vanadium in it, great wear resistance, and great rust resistance as well. It's got a lot of chromium in it. Good impact. It has a fineness of edge. The knife, as it comes out of the box, very sharp. Excuse me. I will say this, that's kind of rare for a SOG fixed blade these days. I don't know why, but a lot of them I've seen lately come out and they don't wear a very good edge. This one, razor sharp. Great job. So I think it's going to perform very well indeed. Maybe, I don't know, on par with S30V, maybe a little bit better. And what it says here, excuse me, high wear resistance, powder metallurgy, blah, 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 blah. Let's jump down the chart right here. If you look in the toughness, wear resistance, and corrosion resistance, you could probably find this online somewhere. I forget which website I found it, sorry. What you'll see from this chart and from down here too, that compared to another outstanding knife steel, 440C, the 20CV has 20% better corrosion resistance and about 80% better holding, or edge holding resistance. Maybe not resistance isn't the right word, edge holding capability. To me, that's saying that this is a very high quality steel. That's why when this knife, the Team Leader in 20CV came out, it was so expensive, because the steel's expensive. And it just seems like these CPM steels keep going up in price, and I hear rumors that the companies that make them are not doing well financially. So who knows what's in store? Are they going to go by the wayside? The price going to continue to increase? Don't know. I will say they pretty much work as advertised in my testing. You'll see the guys below in the comments pretty much say the same thing. If you have any experience, hard use experience with the SOG Team Leader in 20CV, chime on in, dudes. Say what it was, how you liked it. Edge holding, once again, I did not thump on this knife because the owner doesn't want me to. That's just the way it is. I think the steel is outstanding. Definitely worth, I can't speak, definitely worth the $120 admission price, I would say. Look at the blade shape. Again, it's that kind of drop point, kind of leafy looking as well. And it's got nice sweep, nice belly on it, nice sharp tip. That's going to be a great penetrating knife. Getting back to the primary, at least as I designate it, POU of the Team Leader. Okay, there's other knives that are going to ring in about the same price level in that POU too. Okay, and I'm jumping down to competitive options. How about the not SOG, but the Boker Deser Dagger, previously reviewed in the Nutnfancy project. It's good to bring this in here because I'm talking about the tip. This is also an outstanding knife. First time you've seen it, at least from me in HD. I did a review on this. It's just a gorgeous blade, very collectible, very deadly in the thrust cut. But I wouldn't say it's an outstanding all-around utility blade, kind of like the Team Leader can function. But I think these knives will pierce about equally. That's why I'm rolling it in. And also, incidentally, this is made of the 440C steel, which I just referenced. Okay, so the 20 CV is going to be far superior to this steel. Okay, price ranges, at least as of 2010, about the same. And the last time I checked, that Desert Dagger is still available. Another plus on the handle is that it's long enough. I don't like super short handles on knives. We've seen that with some designs. I can put up with it if I get a lot more that makes up for it in the design. Team Leader, don't worry about it. It's got plenty of real estate, both in the conventional forward grip. If you want to go reverse grip with it, same. Still love how that pommel sticks out. Great impact tool or weapon, depending on how you want to use it, right there. Non-lethal or lethal, again, depending on how you employ it. Just a great blade design. I love it. Great. Again, I think I mentioned this at the beginning of the review. You might just want to be careful with that tip. Okay, it's a tough steel. It indicates high wear resistance, but you know, you get it out in cold temperatures. I'm talking around freezing. Well, actually, how about 0 Fahrenheit or so? It might become brittle. I don't know. I haven't tested it, and you might shear it off if you try to put this in a survival role. I just don't think that's its true calling. Camp knife, maybe defensive blade primarily. That's what I'd say. Let's talk about the sheath. Next talking point. Oh, I already talked about the guard. Those nice double finger grooves there. Guard, good jimping. Enough said on that. Not a big fan of the sheath. I generally am not a big fan of leather sheaths overall. I'm just not. Primarily because how I use my blades. I mean, go look at the Snow Cruise. That's kind of what I want for my blade. You know, high moisture environment, that's to me my worst case. Leather is a liability. It stays wet once it's wet. Stuff I've said 1,000 times. And it's also difficult to attach to, you know, LBE, military web gear. Or belts for that matter too, because it's not quick attachable. You know, enter that adaptation that I just showed you, you know. As far as the quality goes, I think the quality is pretty good. You got the SOG logo in there. You've got a lanyard loop there. And then you have a button divider in the sheath, so you can adapt it for different belt widths. That's all good. This is kind of a miss right here. Your retention tab, see how it slides back and forth? They should have anchored that somehow. The way I would do it is I would mechanically do it, probably with sewing with some carpet thread. Just taking some sharp nose pliers coming from the back side and stitching it into position. I probably would not rely on glue. It might work, but it seems like adhesives can fail at the worst possible time. You do it mechanically, stitch it, it won't wiggle around. The reason that's important is because what happens is when you snap the Team Leader in this leather sheath, it just switches around. See that? Not cool, especially if you're doing, I don't know, upside down carry in your LBE. It just is a non-predictable fastening device. You want it to be stationary, consistent, so you know where to get it. It looks good. It's a good looking sheath, but it's leather, you know. I would like to see a Kydex sheath made for this, and probably a lot of TMPers are going to roll in on this video. Know of that. They can make it. You can make them yourself. You can buy some great Kydex. It would really perfect this design. If you had a really lightweight, awesomely cool Kydex sheath. When I'm saying that, I mean that's trim. It's not overly bulky, and it maybe uses the American Sportsman, that quick attach one device I showed you. The reason I like that more than the Tech Lock is because it's lighter. Trying to keep weight down, especially in this POU. Competitive options down here, dudes. There's not a ton of factory-produced stainless steel knives that ride in this POU out. Well, I shouldn't say. There are several. Let me show you a couple. One, I'll probably give you an update video on this too. All-time favorite, all-arounder. That's the Cold Steel SRK. This one in San Mai 3, sent to me from an awesome TMPer. So this is a great blade. Expect an update vid. I've already been working it up there in Snow Cruise. There's some other testing I want to perform on it. Great competitor against that. Which one would I prefer? They're both awesome. I don't know. They're both awesome. Price, maybe the one I could get for the least amount of money, because I think they serve the same POU, except the SRK has that thickness, has a stronger tip. It's more capable in the woods, is my take. How about another SOG fixed blade? The GovTech, previously reviewed in the Nutnfancy project. Very favorably, I might say. The GovTech's a great option. It's going to be heavier. You know, heavier than that Team Leader. Definitely heavier. Stainless offering, more reach. It's actually a bigger knife all the way around. This to me is not an LBE knife just because it's too big. That's assuming I'm carrying a lot of other stuff. Here's the type of sheath I'm talking about. This is an excellent sheath. I said so in my review of the GovTac. Just excellent. Notice how that's an anchored point. You got a Hypalon with a snap, a Hypalon strap with a snap. But speak of the devil, there's the American Sportsman attachment device right there. That's what I was talking about. Had they issued this sheath with that, perfect combination. I would be very excited. How about a Spyderco competitor? Yeah, review coming sometime. The Spyderco Aqua Salt and H1 Steel. I think this competes very strongly against the Team Leader. As far as the durability of the steel, I think perhaps a 20 CV will win. It's a CPM, very high-tech steel, no doubt. The H1 is getting rave reviews, though, and its performance, edge holding, everything. Rust resistance, it'll probably take it, not probably, will take it over 20 CV, I think. Great blade, and it's lighter even than the Team Leader. Big time. Great option, this Aqua Salt. That's just a couple. There's more out there, but I'm going to make the video even longer if I keep going. But I will say this. For 120 bucks in the role of defensive fixed blade knife, maybe a camp knife, or just as a collectible knife, $120, totally worth it. Totally. Leather sheath and all. Value is awesome. Two kinds of cool. It's discontinued. Will they ever come out with a 20 CV blade again? SOG? I don't know. It might have been an experiment that went south. I should have called them. Sorry, I've been so busy I didn't. And asked them, hey, well, why did you discontinue? I assumed that, one, it probably was not selling that well because of the price point. And I think some guys visually will have a hard time connecting with the Team Leader. To them, it doesn't look like a normal tactical blade. There's a certain look they're perhaps after. Again, I say the beauty will be in holding the knife and using it. I think you'll really be turned on by the lightweight, the balance, the jimping, the hand-filling Zytel grip, and the price for that superb quality of steel. Big winner. Move on it if you want it. There's a fixed blade review. Nutnfancy style, unproduced, more or less. We'll check you guys later. See ya.